Welcome to the Pretty and Profiting Show, your favorite show for branding, beauty, business, and the truth of how to be a boss lady and build your empire. Pause the show right now and grab your free gift at profitablepersonalbrand.com/hot. It's a workbook and audio training on 5 high-performing strategies to dominate your market and add an extra $1,000 to $10,000 to your bottom line. And now, your host. She's a fierce, creative freaking genius who is known by many as Nikki Hustle, Nicole K. Lundy.
Welcome back to another episode of the Pretty and Profiting Show. It's your host, Nicole K. Lundy. And today, we're talking about the 5 do's and the 5 don'ts of being an entrepreneur. So we're going to start with the don'ts because I want to get them out the way, and I want to make sure that you immediately stop doing them if you are guilty of doing them before we get to the do's. And if you're just starting out in business, this is the perfect episode for you because you'll actually have a head start that most of us didn't have. This is when, you ask people on stage, what would you have done differently? What would you have told your startup self? Trust me. All of these apply to my business. All of them apply when I come in and start working with my clients because, you just don't know. You're just so excited to get your passion, your work, your brilliance out into the world that some of these things come in because you didn't expect them and they throw you off your game. So let's talk don'ts. The first don't is to not expect success overnight. Listen, being an entrepreneur is a marathon, not a sprint. Not a sprint. So even if you have the vision, the team, the funding, even if it all dropped into your lap for you to start your business, there's going to be unexpected challenges that come along the way. It's guaranteed. It happens to every one of us. But the good news, even though this is a don't, is you become a superior mogul, a superior business owner from these challenges, from these mistakes. Okay. So as an example, getting clients may be slower than you ever anticipated, especially if you're coming out of corporate America. I remember putting up my makeup site, and this is way back when I had a beauty consulting business. Not a word, not a sound. I thought I just needed to put up the website and the customers would come. Didn't happen. And truthfully, it happens to a lot of my clients. They're like, I did so much work and nothing's happening. Well, now it starts. Now you need to create the buzz, start making calls, start marketing and whatnot. Don't expect success overnight. Number 2 is you don't want to ignore history. So, a lot of business owners believe, what they do is super unique and nobody else has done it. And the thing is, instead of not looking for companies who have done something similar to what you are striving to do so that you can learn about them, you completely ignore it. Listen, nothing is new under the sun. Nothing. As much as we hate to admit it sometimes, as business owners, nothing is new under the sun. Do not ignore history. Just because you did a scanty Google search doesn't mean that there wasn't a company that didn't do what you're doing. You're just adding your own unique twist. But the point is, don't ignore history. See what worked for them, see what didn't, because success leaves clues. Another don't is don't assume money solves all of your problems. So a lot of people, and me included back in the day, it's just, if I had an extra $1,000 or if I just need an infusion of $10,000 and, I could take my business to $10 million. Don't assume it. Do not assume it. So of course, capital is important. Of course, it's important, but it needs to be used in the right way. The best way to use your capital is to create and build a business model that has been proven to work. So this goes back to what we just talked about, not ignoring history. Really do not spend your time trying to create a new model. follow a model that works. You can always add your twist to it. But the model, like for instance, having a restaurant, serving food, paycheck, that works. Follow it. Another do not let investors dictate your company's strategy. So some business owners need a lot of capital. So they have to go to angel investors. They have to go to venture capitalists to get the funding they need. And it happens a lot for product-based businesses, especially. The thing is, in your deal, especially as a startup and in your business, you want to make sure the deal is that your decision is the final decision, not the decision of your investor. You want to keep the control. You want to have the final say of the strategy that your company is going to implement, and just overall sales, marketing, future. Yes, you appreciate their advice. Yes, you will take their advice. Yes, they need to be on the board of directors, board of advisors. Yes. You need to pull the trigger, however. Another do not operate inside of a bubble. So being a business owner, it's very easy to be in isolation. This poet, John Donne, he said, "No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main." This happens to entrepreneurs too much. It's super easy to be engrossed in your company, what you're doing, what you're launching, what next year looks like. But the best entrepreneurs are always seeking feedback from their peers, from their clients, from their friends, from their families. Always stay connected. Do not be the creator of a project and the person giving feedback. Get some outside feedback, because operating inside of a bubble is super, super dangerous. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into the do's of entrepreneurship. See you soon. Join the Pretty and Profiting Posse if you are a real deal women entrepreneur creating wealth and making a global impact with your business. Represent yourself. Head on over to prettyandprofiting.com and get your merchandise. Profit in style. And we're back. So in today's episode, we're talking about the 5 do's and the 5 don'ts of entrepreneurship. We just finished talking about the 5 don'ts. Now we're going to jump into the 5 do's. So the first do is to do what you know. Do what you know. It sounds so simple, but here's the thing. There's so many entrepreneurs out there who get involved in industries about what they know absolutely nothing about. And the thing is, on top of not knowing anything about this industry, they have no passion for learning anything about this industry. Listen, it doesn't matter if you're brilliant and smart. I know you are, because you're listening to this podcast, or a quick learner. There's no substitute for experience. Now, I understand that just because you're experienced in something, that doesn't mean you want to continue doing that. I understand. But there are things that you do have some familiarity around and you do have some passion around. Expound on that, add to those strengths, learn on that. Okay? Next, ask for help. The second do. You are not weak if you ask for help. You are actually strong, and it's needed. You do not know every single thing in your business. You cannot, on a long-term basis, wear all of the hats. Yes, you can start out like that, but you cannot continue like that. The difference between somebody who is overwhelmed by lack of knowledge and somebody who manages to succeed despite his ignorance is just one simple difference, and that is the willingness to ask for help. So it can be internally, like in your inside business circle, unofficial board of advisors, or it can be outside. You might actually need to hire somebody. The point is, ask for help, get help. You will grow faster. You will get to profitability. And we're all about being pretty, being profitable. We're pretty and profiting over here. So You cannot do both of those things if you're overwhelmed. You'll actually look pretty haggard and you'll be pretty broke. Ha ha ha. So number 3 is to know your purpose. Being a business owner, being a boss lady, building an empire is not for the faint of heart. It is exhausting. It's a marathon. It's full of obstacles, full of challenges. Of course, there's a lot of rewarding days. But the only thing that's going to keep you going is for you to have a strong sense of purpose and you to be strongly connected to your why. Not your mama's why, but your why. That is the question that has to be answered, and you must remind yourself of that answer every single day. Number 4, the 4th do, is to recognize your mistakes. Listen, we know from being a child that admitting to a mistake can get you into a lot of trouble. And that trait goes with us to adults and into being an entrepreneur. However, ignoring a mistake as an entrepreneur and allowing it to fester can cost your company big time. So you have to have the courage to admit when you're wrong, whether it's to a colleague, to a client, to a vendor, just in general, internally to your business, and course correct immediately. Immediately. The 5th do as an entrepreneur is you want to enjoy the journey. Listen, you have a big vision. You've made a commitment. Enjoy the journey. You only have a limited amount of time, really, not on your side, and you have to fire on all 12 cylinders every second of the day, every moment. As an entrepreneur, you don't have weekends. Even if, you've set a work schedule, as an entrepreneur, you're always thinking about the expansion of your empire. You're always thinking about the next marketing. You're always strategizing in your head. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how you're wired. That's how I'm wired. That's how all of my colleagues are wired. That's how my clients are wired. It's consistent across the board, even from my own research. But you have to enjoy the journey. You can't get too caught up on the destination. You have to enjoy the ride. So that's it for today's episode. 5 do's, the 5 don'ts of being an entrepreneur. This is Nicole K. Lundy, your host. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Pretty and Profiting. Want to learn more about me and what I do? Head on over to profitablepersonalbrand.com. Also, I have a super juicy giveaway for one lucky show subscriber. If you want to enter, you just have to do 2 simple things. 1, subscribe to the show. 2, leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher, and you'll be entered into this month's $25 Sephora gift card giveaway. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay pretty and stack those profits.